Okay guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about qualifiers and a way to get to the qualifiers if you don't get to the qualifiers yet. So let me first talk about the system of the qualifiers because it is important that you understand it. The qualifiers are not really just there to get to the top 8, top 16, top 32, top 64, right? It's part of it, but they can easily fix this with battles. It's actually there mostly to protect the guys that are really good and people that already have a name. So let's take Holland, Lee and Menno, both awesome B-boys, both in the Red Bull team, right? And big names. Now, if there's no qualifier and they face each other in the first or second round, what will happen is one of these guys will eliminate each other, and on the other side of brackets, total beginners might face each other, and one of these guys will eliminate each other, so the beginners slip through the cracks and go to the later bracket. At the same time, some of the biggest names and some of the best B-boys will already be out, right? So they want to avoid that. That's why the qualifier is there. But that also means that the top 16 is not really a top 16. It's actually a top 6, right? Because 10 of these spots are already given to these B-boys in your country that always battle, already proven that they're very good or have a big name, right? Because let's face it, someone like Lee, big name, we know he can do great things. If he falls on his face in the qualifier, he will still go through to the later brackets, while you might have done a very good run, but you didn't get your shot. That's why you battle all the time. I talked about it before. You also need that name yourself, so get to breaking, guys. Now, let's talk about how to get you through the qualifier if you don't. So if you're already getting through the qualifier, don't listen to me, don't take my advice, you're doing good. So you're joining these battles, there's a qualifier, you're getting through. Now, if you're not getting through the qualifier, but you feel you are good enough, let's understand the system real quick. All the rules of breaking apply. You didn't know breaking had rules, huh? Well, there are. No crashing, no repeating, because sometimes it's 2 rounds. And no, obviously, off music dancing. So any of these things, just like a normal battle, can cost you the battle. Don't be surprised if that, let's say you fall or something, then don't be surprised you're not through the qualifier, right? Makes sense. Unless you're a big name, then you are through the qualifier anyway. So now let's get through the qualifier. First, and this is a very simple trick, it's such an obvious one, but a lot of people miss this somehow. Let's say you get to the event and you're the first B-boy to put your name on the list. Then you're also the first one in the qualifier, and by B-boy 200, the jury forgot about you, right? There's so many other B-boys that did great things in that qualifier that, you're already forgotten. So when you put your name down, try to do it a little bit later, not the first one to go, right? Another thing is that, this is also something pretty obvious, but for some reason people don't do it. There are B-boys with great moves and they don't do them. Like they don't do them in the qualifier, they sometimes don't even do them in battles, because what they want to do is showcase their style. But at the same time, you can do over 10 rounds of head spin drill, which you don't do. Now, yet again, if you do only your style and you're getting through this qualifier, hey, do you, it's great. But you see, you're not getting through, but you actually got moves like that to your exposure. Show it, right? I know people like that, with actually moves like that, over 10 rounds of 90, 2 sides air flare, whatever, crazy shit. But they really don't showcase this in their qualifier run. They show some of it, like swipe to 1 diamond air flare, then down to footwork string or something. But that's not showcasing that you have awesome power at all, right? Showcase that shit. At the same time, you can always showcase, like do your footwork. You can always do this in the same round. So let's say you show me, okay, I can do 2 sides of air flare, but I could also still showcase my footwork after, right? There's no problem there, guys. So let's get through the qualifier. What should you do if you're not getting your shot? Now, the first thing you always should do is film yourself and pinpoint your posture, because sometimes it's not what you do, but the way you do it. It's sometimes as simple as, hey, I'm looking at the floor while I dance, right? Because stuff like that, it's just not memorable, and you're not an awesome dancer that way, right? You're doing the right thing, but your posture is stiff, or you're hunched down with your neck, some stuff like that, and you should really catch that. Don't just look at the big picture of your run. Hey, I'm doing double halo to a freeze or something. That can be very nice, but then the rest of your run, the way you do the top rock, not the top rock itself, like hey, you did a good variation and you were on the music, but the way you do it. Because this is sometimes really what is stopping you. You are looking at the floor while you dance. It's oozing insecurity, right? Study some B-boys like Machine. Study some B-boys like Nagin. These rhymes. But also, like, they show such awesome style that, you know, it's not really their moves that's doing the trick. It's the way they do the things they do, right? You don't have to dance like them, but just saying, you really have to pinpoint this, because sometimes without knowing it, you are not dancing correctly, you know, like you're hunching down and stuff like that, right? Now, let's get through the qualifier. You're good enough, you feel like you're not getting your shot. There's 200 people in the qualifier in this example, and you are just one of the many. Your goal now is to put down a memorable run that they will not forget in a sea of people that are doing great runs. I'm gonna give a tip on what I, for instance, can do with my runs, because, you know, obviously I'm me, to get through the qualifier. I have a run, and I call this the jazz split run, because what I do is, from my entrance or my top rock, sometimes I do it at the ending, doesn't matter, I take this Spider-Man pose, bam! I call this Spider-Man landing on the building. And from here, I slide on my knees, jump on my feet, do a back head flip, do a front head flip, and land in a jazz split. And then get up and continue the run. This is a nice little move, right? And it's actually, it's good, but it's not that memorable, especially if there's 200 people showcasing great skills. Now, let's take that same thing I just did. I'm taking the same Spider-Man go down, Spider-Man landing on the building. That's what I call it, boom. Now, instead of looking at the opponent, because these battles, these qualifiers are made like battles, right? There's usually an opponent there. Ignore him, it's not important. Look at the judges. Pause, don't go too fast. Now nod at them. Boom. Back head flip, front head flip, jazz split, get up, boom. Now here you showcase the exact same thing, like it's still the same run. But when now they look at the end of the you know, like the qualifier is over, they look at that little paper and then they see your name and they say, oh yeah, there was that guy that was facing me and smiling, right? See, they remember your run now. They remember you way, way better. Especially even if you don't get through the qualifier, you put down a really memorable run with this stuff, right? And that's just an example of what you can do. You can do so many crazy stuff. I can't even count them. But stuff like that will really get their attention. Another great way is by doing stuff they do not see coming. Now, as an example, on this channel I made a tutorial about suicide front flip, and it's a move where you front flip, but not to your feet, but to your back. This move is actually in a qualifier better than an actual front flip, because they don't see that shit coming. The way you enter that move is also important. For instance, like what I do, maybe I think it's cool and you don't, but the point is, they don't see it coming, is that I do some top rocks and then I hang. And from the hang, as high as you can, you make that suicide front flip to a 1.5 swipe move, something like that. You kind of catch them off guard with this shit, right? So they didn't see it coming, and then boom, you do it, and they're gonna remember that move, while someone else did maybe 3 rounds of 90, which is very nice. But it's way less memorable because they kind of see stuff like that coming, right? And it's just an example of a move I gave, but you can do this actually with footwork moves, with anything. If you can catch them off guard somehow, like do something they don't see coming, or do a move like that, that's sort of, wow, that's really nice, or whoa, didn't see that coming, right? Then you have a bigger shot getting through than they just do what everybody else is doing, right? For sometimes that stuff is very nice, and you know, you're just not getting your shot with that. Yet again, if you are, then this doesn't count for you, then you keep doing what you're doing. And another great way to make your run more memorable is with stopping. I'm going to give a very simple example, right? It's just an example of what I mean. but that can be done in many ways. Also, let's make this little tread move. I probably did a tutorial about this, but look here, put your foot down and lift up like that. Let me lift this thing up so you see what I'm doing. Boom. Now, this in itself, yet again, nothing special, but I'm gonna pause here a very long time. Look at my opponent, or maybe even look at the judges and nod, right? Then, from there, continue my footwork transitions, whatever. Now, later, yet again, the judges look at the little paper and they, oh yeah, that was that guy that took that pose for a very long time. Or hey, that was that guy that was smiling the whole time during his run, really having fun, right? So it's not a fixed thing that you can fix, but you have to make your run way more memorable than your normal breaking, because that's how a lot of people are breaking. And I said it before many times, but hey, if that stuff is working for you, then keep doing it, right? Maybe you just do average ass footwork, but you have such a nice posture, boom, you go through the qualifiers. But if that's not the case, then you gotta fix it somehow or make your run way more memorable. Laying still more. I made a video about making your explosive style. Maybe look at stuff like that from, hey, how can I make my run pop a little bit more than instead of just like, oh, I'm doing baby mills and then I'm doing a halo and a freeze, right? So it's very standard moves for b-boys, right? They're very nice sometimes, right? But it's just the average stuff. So maybe like that will make your run way more pop, right? And will make it more memorable. It doesn't have to be my way of doing things, but approach the qualifier like that. And then the next, let's say you're not getting through the qualifier, then at least you put on a very memorable run and you do it again and you make something else, boom. And you do it again, and at some point the judges know you, like, wow, that's that guy putting really always these runs down. That's quite entertainment and quite different, right? And they're gonna give you that shot, guys. See you next time.